Shrimpsu videos. And Shrimpsu and Addy ads on the street covering protests, and we're still not loving police. Antifa's trying to fight us, but we're still covering these things. This is the Pandemic Podcast, The Great Awakening, and we're covering riots, protests, everything on the streets in New York State, and Buffalo, Rochester, and around the world. I'm live streaming, I'm vlogging, everything related to the pandemic and the protest, that's all here on Shrimpsu and Addy Ads. We're covering all of it. The fires, the riots, BLM, Antifa, MAGA, Biden, the elections, Fauci, 5G, aliens, UFOs, everything. And I lean to the left and he leans to the right.
Yo, what's up, people? This is Addy Ads. Check out our store we got on the Shrimpsu channel. Selling masks, t-shirts, leggings, and more. Check it out, folks.
This is the Great Awakening Podcast with your host Shrimpsu and Addy Ads. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Also, we both have Patreon accounts, so hit those up too if you're generous and feel like donating. Alright, let's get into this video now.
What is up, people? Welcome to another episode.
This is the one and only Shrimpsu. Welcome to the channel.
Of the Pandemic Podcast.
Technical error.
The Great Awakening with Addy Ads and Shrimpsu. Today is September the 30th of 2020. A lot happened. A lot has happened over the last few days, last few weeks. The Comey hearing was today. I watched a lot of that. I also watched the presidential debate, which we all pretty much watched. Most of us watched last night. A lot of people anyways.
Well, I only watched the highlights from it.
Yeah, that was a good call. And let me get this mouse over here so I can do comments.
Let me get into the COVID news.
Yeah, go ahead, Sherm.
So, on the coronavirus news, Spain, parts of Italy are going back into lockdown. Parts of New York City are going into lockdown. We got an echo here.
Okay.
All right, we're back. How's the sound? Addy messed this whole thing up. I'm sorry.
You've been taking over my lizard thing.
I'm taking over Addy's camera now, too. Both cameras. How's the audio?
Is there still feedback? Okay, there we go.
Is it good? Is it good, Daria, Carl, Harley, FNL, Boo and Chia? Stay out. All right, next live stream is going to go perfect. If not, I'm taking over both cameras. What's up, Sharon? Shrimpsu in the house.
Okay, we are good now. Yeah.
We're good. I'm in the house, armed and extremely dangerous, as usual. So let's continue with the coronavirus news.
That was a joke, people.
Yeah, that was a joke. Obviously, that was a joke. Coronavirus Task Force continues to urge mask usage in states without mask mandates. I think that's kind of strange, don't you? The White House / federal government is like saying people should use masks, but the states are saying they don't need to.
State power, man.
New Jersey, the COVID-19, 3% of everybody tested there has COVID. Wisconsin now is like the epicenter of COVID in America, where Addie is from. Israel has almost full hospital capacity right now, so they are almost fully capacitated with patients right now. They don't have any more room almost for COVID patients or anybody else. A few other countries are like that. France, Spain, Italy, they're all going up in coronavirus numbers. There's some good news about like therapeutics and stuff coming out, and looks like there's probably going to be a vaccine released in America in probably next month or two, I think.
Yeah.
Probably a few. What else do you want to talk about today, now that we got COVID out of the way?
Speaking of the vaccine, I've seen a lot of videos on Anna Breese's channel of various citizens from the UK testifying their displeasure for Boris Johnson's leadership and how they wish for him to change or step down. Basically, they don't want a vaccination to be forced upon their children. And who blames them? So this is something that you just made me think of just now with what you just said.
I think the vaccine will be, I think it will be kind of safe for older people. You know, I think we should try it on older people first. People like maybe frontline workers, police or something, when it does become available, before the general population takes it. Really, this is too fast-tracked to really ensure it's safe. They probably need to be testing this thing for a year or two before it's out to the public.
Yeah, who would they test it on?
Well, every study, there's like anywhere between 10 to 40,000 people in these studies, like the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, or the Abbott Labs, all these pharmaceutical companies coming out with vaccines. They need to have, I believe they need to have upwards of like 40,000 people before it can go into the final stages of trials, like stage 4 trials. Wow. So, but that's still not enough, really. So they just need to enroll more people to try it on, and they need to evaluate it over a year or two at least. Evaluating over weeks is not really enough to determine if it's safe, in my opinion. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer at all. I've taken like all the vaccines, and my kids have taken them all. But I just think that the fast-track vaccine for coronavirus, something we've never made a vaccine for before, we're making it in a brand new way, ways that we haven't made vaccines before. It's not going to be safe.
What type of tests are they using, and what's the error rate for the tests?
For testing for people if they have COVID?
I'm not sure.
For the vaccine?
Probably, I don't know. What do you mean, Jules? What about Proud Boys, Shrimp? What do you think about them?
Proud Boys are like the answer to Antifa, but Proud Boys are not committing like terrorist type actions. They're not going out to cities and burning anything. But when they're fighting Antifa in the streets, they're just as worse as Antifa is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Proud Boys aren't as bad as Antifa by any means, but
who has more
if there's
power?
Antifa by far.
Yeah.
The Proud Boys are a joke. They said there was going to be 10,000 at their last rally in Portland. They only had like a few hundred at most.
Yeah.
But yeah, Proud Boys is pretty much harmless. The thing is, if Proud Boys numbers swell in rank and they go onto the streets and answer to Antifa, those type of things can lead to civil war. Yeah, they're not as bad as Antifa, but if they're fighting them in the streets, that type of stuff can lead to civil war. That's kind of where we're headed right now.
Can COVID tests infect the olfactory nerve and sinuses? I would imagine.
They think it can affect the brain and like almost everything, really.
Yeah.
Your skin, your heart,
Dude,
your
it felt
brain,
so weird when they did
your
that
immune
test.
system, everything, their nervous system. So yeah, I would say probably yes. I don't know about your sinuses. I'm gonna.
How many
say
tests
no.
did you get? You got just one test for COVID?
When I went to get coronavirus and I did the YouTube video on it.
Yeah.
Just one test, but it was inconclusive, and they called me a bunch of times on me to come back for it, but I didn't. Because you're supposed to swab it in your nose like really hard, but they just did like the outside gently.
Yeah.
And didn't hurt or go deep in. Nose and like angled right, but I don't know. My ex at the time got antibody tests a bunch of times, and she apparently didn't have it.
Really?
But the antibody tests at the hospital were not very accurate either. So some of her friends at the hospital had COVID, but tested negative for the antibodies a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah, so I think I probably haven't had COVID yet, but it's really unsure.
Does Trump want to get the military to force vax soon?
No, I think the way the vaccination's going to work is you're not going to be allowed inside Walmart or Target unless you have it in the future. It's just going to look at China. Basically everything China's done, that's where we're going to be. China, Singapore, Japan, South Korea. You're going to have to go in with the phone, and it's going to have a green check or something like that. A green check, a green X, a smiley face, a green square, something like that to go into stores and airplanes. And for your kids to go to school, they're going to have to get the COVID vaccine.
No.
Not going to be next month, but in 5 years, 10 years, probably way before then, probably within the next 1 or 2 years. But for all the people that think, like, I'm sick of when's it going to go back to normal? That's like people in the early 90s saying when the AIDS epidemic started, like saying, when's it going to go back to normal? When's AIDS going to go back away? And that's like the CDC director saying, guys, don't worry, AIDS will be gone in 1 or 2 years. It's just ridiculous how people say this thing's going to be gone in 1 or 2 years. It's like saying the regular flu will be gone in 1 or 2 years. We have a vaccine for it.
Well, this is bigger than 9/11.
By far.
Let alone AIDS, which is it's like AIDS, 9/11.
Viruses are a bigger problem.
Spanish flu all in one.
Viruses are a bigger problem than Islamic terrorism. We've learned they are.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have said that 2 years ago, but I'll say it today. It's just a fact.
Viruses
are, they're more dangerous. It's more lethal. It just causes way more chaos than Islamic terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
We had all this money focused on Islamic terrorism, and like not much really happened since 9/11. And look what happened with this small little virus that kills 1% or less of people.
China is
got almost 250,000 dead
making
in America
moves. Now. China they're trying to go for Scholar's mate right now. If we're talking chess, let me get on these comments. They definitely have us on the defensive. They are
terrorists use bioweapons too. So do communist governments.
They are refusing to interrupt us as we collectively make a mistake.
Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
How's the fall foliage? Columbus weekend is peak. What is Columbus? Okay, I think I know what you mean. That is... It's a bit of color changing for the trees around here, but
yeah, it's getting to be fall. It's getting colder.
We're gonna pretend it's mandatory. Unlike you have a choice, but I'll show you something place on if you want to take it. It might as well be mandatory. Antifa is more harmful to himself.
They Molotov.
Yeah, they're more like anarchists. Really,
yeah, but that's kind of funny.
leftists.
But
they call them leftists, but they're really anarchists.
Antifa just did Molotov cocktail the police.
Yeah.
So
they're really anarchists.
Their aim is increasing.
Yeah.
The thing is, Proud Boys are tougher than Antifa, but Antifa go out into the streets on these protests. Their numbers are growing like crazy.
Yeah.
They hide in the BLM and the protester crowds and like.
Do you think another stimulus will come? A stimulus check?
Yeah, I do.
Because
they were talking about it today, so.
Really?
I think so.
Lost
but like
taste.
It's like 50-50, so it's not like a strong I think so, but
yeah.
I think so, like 50-50. I think there's a good chance. What if you're allergic to eggs? I would have to Google that, but they grow viruses in eggs. I don't think viruses have egg themselves. They just use the egg to grow the virus. Do you know anything about that? I mean, I've researched some. From my understanding, the vaccines don't have egg in them. They just are grown in the egg, and the virus is extracted from that. They don't have egg. It doesn't have egg in the vaccine.
Yeah, I think eggs like provide an adequate environment for viruses to culture and inoculate.
The thing is with this is you really can't grow coronaviruses in eggs. So most of all these vaccines are not grown in eggs. The vaccines are just like tiny parts of the vaccine or the virus, or they're tiny parts of other viruses or broken up or dead parts of other viruses that are similar. So you're not going to have to worry about egg.
COVID.
They're making the vaccine in new methods, which also increases the reason I think it might be dangerous, because they're not using eggs, the like old safer method of making a vaccine. They're using different methods that we've never used before ever. So
and speaking of methods of transmission for viruses, when you look at what's going on with the mosquitoes in Florida, with like they're having that testing going on. They're trying to test where I think they're trying to make it so I guess only the female mosquitoes bite you, so they're trying to make
that could be dangerous.
Males.
That could be dangerous in my opinion.
What if they're covering weapons testing for transmission via mosquitoes?
Those mosquitoes are going to evolve to breed, and what if they breed and create a super mosquito? In Zika,
which is like impervious to anything,
insecticides or anything,
It'll just like, and it's like
it's experimenting with science. We don't know what will happen. That's why
it reminds me of Jurassic Park. Is what it reminds me.
The vaccine, when they're making the vaccine, they're basically getting like little like V or Y cell, tiny little micro like shapes like that will block the receptors in your cell, so the virus can't stick to it. That's basically what they're doing.
Well, if this guy forced me to get a vaccination, I will die. Please do not make me take the Rona cure.
Yeah, but this
is a bioweapon made by accident or purposefully.
That's kind of ridiculous, though, because like billions of people have taken the flu vaccine with no real effects.
Yeah, I've been.
There's a lot of
get your sunlight for sure.
A lot of vaccines are
It's raining today, though. That's
just some that aren't fast track ones, like when Bill Gates releases a vaccine in Africa or India.
Planting seeds. They may wait.
I'd say a lot of vaccines are safe, and a minority that are fast track that aren't. There's been vaccines that aren't safe.
I want martial law with live ammo on these domestic
I don't want martial law because when the Republicans hated the police when they were marching on Michigan with AR-15s and stuff, you remember that? And they were saying, they're all saying they hate the police. They're not going to teach the kids to respect the police anymore. That was all over the news, and they're shouting at the police. And Democrats were like, "Oh, this is crazy. This is chaos. America's out of control. Look at these crazy Republicans saying they hate the police, and they have guns, and they're protesting the police." Now the same snowflake Republicans are like, "Oh, look at these guys," and they're doing the exact same thing. The only thing is, America's like 30% Republican, 70% Democrat. So Democrats can have crazy numbers on the streets. Republicans, you guys, you're not that much. You're a tiny minority of America. I hate to say it, but America mostly is not Republican. It's not 50-50. The only way Trump is going to win is if most people don't vote, which is what happens all the time.
That's a trend.
What is it? 50% of America doesn't vote?
What if he wins by the mother of all landslides?
I think,
as Robert David Steele
as
calls
it is right now, I think he's going to lose. The reason, and I don't really care who wins or loses, the reason I don't think that you want martial law on the street is because remember when Republicans were protesting that they hated the police, they went to Michigan to the buildings with the ARs, and remember what happened when there was a martial law briefly in America in some cities? Remember they were hitting paintball guns to moms and stuff and their kids. Remember those clips where a woman was getting shot up with, and it was probably a Republican lady, a nice little white lady in the burbs, getting shot up with rubber bullets and paintballs in her own house. That's why I don't want it.
That was in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
that's in Minneapolis.
That's why I
shooting. They shot into the house at some women.
So that's why
into the house.
If you're Republican,
don't forget this stuff, people.
People.
I didn't see that one though. I didn't see that one.
The same Republicans have forgotten this already. The same people who were wanting to go protest with the guns are now saying you shouldn't be protesting, and it's like they want martial law. Remember when we had the martial law? It's not going to turn out well when you have National Guard in every street corner, somebody from other states. I don't want National Guard or UN or NATO on the streets. It's going to be worse. And then I don't want Antifa battling them. I want nobody armed on the streets. I don't care their color, or their race, or their political belief.
That's all that Russia wants.
I don't want anybody armed on the streets. They want.
And they would back, like, I remember, I think it was like the French were going to back the South for a little bit. At least they're thinking about it.
I mean,
it didn't.
If Antifa keeps burning buildings down, there will have to be martial law, I guess. That will have to come. I don't want it to come, though. Do you agree? If Antifa keeps getting worse, if Portland was every city in America, would you want martial law? Do you want National Guard? Because then, if it was that, then I would.
Those dudes.
You don't want martial law if every city is like Portland?
That hippie lady, we're all being used as guinea pigs one way or another.
Pretty much.
I do not want martial law, sir.
See, he's Republican, and I'm like Democratish. / independent-ish.
I'm a neo-millennial.
He's a neocon, and I'm a LGBT liberal. But we can still talk.
Yeah, we still get along.
We still
because we're both pro-war.
No, I'm anti-war. I don't want war in Syria.
Yeah, we're both anti-war.
I was against the war in Libya.
I'm
against all these wars.
I'm just anti-war. I don't even know how else to put it.
I think the money should be going to like teachers and cafeteria workers and
man,
like the people
and
going to our healthcare system.
Prison reform.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Prison reform.
We could have some ICE reform in there too.
ICE reform, Russia. Riots and people growing crazy.
You could build that wall because I don't think Mexico cares anymore.
Pandemics, man. It's just part of human nature, Excuse me, people.
Is the border still open with Mexico? Or is it?
No, the border's closed as far as I know.
Mexico won't even care if we build the wall there anymore.
So the cartels there are running out of things to buy, as far as they're just not making as much money as they're used to, and
violence is up.
The most violent year on record. It's going to be. It's on track right now in Mexico. Probably a person killed every half an hour, so I would guess something like that. I would say maybe at least on the hour, but probably every.
I would think more than that even, but go watch Sicario.
It's pretty crazy, dude. Hyperbaric chamber. That's what I'm saying, man. They should have done pure oxygen. I was saying, I think earlier than most, that they should have done oxygen treatment as opposed to the ventilation.
Well, they're better, even without a vaccine, they're getting better at treating COVID because they're flipping people. We know to flip them now. We know not to use the respirators unless it's like last chance, because the respirators were killing a lot of people before. So And we know like some vitamins work, and we know like if you're fat, you're probably gonna die of it, diabetes, things like that. We're treating people better.
Yeah, if you're
So,
fat,
death rate is dropping just because of that. Like we know how to treat it slightly better.
Did you see the Trump video when he's talking about the rallies?
Sharon says she's
That's
moving.
so funny.
Why is Sharon moving?
Sharon is moving. Let me just move this. There you go.
Make sure you take your computer with you when you move so you can keep watching Shrimp Zoo.
Trump said they found ballots in the garage basket. I actually saw that. They're military ballots, I think.
Yeah.
I
never know what to
Trump.
I feel like no matter how you vote, they can rig the vote if they really want. But I think I have overall confidence that it won't be rigged.
Yeah.
I feel like they could, no matter how you vote, though. It won't matter if you vote on your phone or in person or a ballot.
Like the whole thing is a hoax, dude. Holy crap. Like what we're doing is just part of the simulation.
Dude, they wouldn't be spending billions on the whole thing if they're just going to rig it anyways. You know? I think it's probably real.
Am I getting too metaphysical here?
Yeah.
So are we making a difference?
I don't drink alcohol.
What?
I'm straight edge.
No, that's not what I asked. Are we making a difference?
I'm just saying that.
Oh, okay. We'll let the people decide.
Everybody knows I'm straight edge.
Don't want hack-booted thugs on the street, says Michael McKinney.
He doesn't want Antifa out there.
Blue states.
I'd say the protesters are like the police. Some people are bad and some people are good.
50-50 will not even watch the debates.
Yeah, the debates made America look really stupid.
Russia wants us divided.
So, I mean, I think Biden was also kind of bad in the debates. He told Trump to shut up. They both talked over each other and the moderator.
The debate was a shit show.
I think Trump lost the debates, to be honest. And honestly, I was thinking that he was going to destroy Biden. Kind of disappointed a little bit. I was thinking it would be super entertaining and like he would run laps around Biden, but he really didn't. And if Biden keeps doing good in the debates, I'll have to rethink his dementia. That or he's on like some really good meds.
What if?
Yo, you're on my camera.
What's it?
You were in my camera box.
Oh, whoops.
I'm about to go in yours.
Look at that. There's 2 shrimp zoos. What if the vaccine global push is used to track human trafficking? Or worse, what if it's used to accelerate human trafficking and diversify the uses for it? Trump isn't a great senator. He's a master viter. I think she means debater, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think he's a better debater than Biden, but he didn't do so good.
Who is?
I watched the next one. Hopefully the next debate's better, like for both of them. We'll have to see. Yeah, COVID. There's tons of strains of COVID going around. They've known this for a while, and some are more lethal than others. Some are more infectious. It's never going to end, because ask yourself this. We have a vaccine for the regular seasonal flu. We have one for pig flu and bird flu, all those flus. We have vaccines. They're never going. The regular flu is never going away. Never.
Nope.
It'll be here as long as humans are. The regular flu is never going away. In COVID is never going away times a million. Not only is it in people, but it's in like dozens of animals. Ferrets, weasels, cats, dogs, tigers, lions. Like it's on like salmon and stuff transported from Seattle to Beijing and like frozen salmon and stuff. It's like on cargo ships. It's in people's refrigerators in Miami and Chicago. It's like on the sinks in public restrooms, and it's everywhere. It's never going away, ever. It's never going away. Masks are never going away. Hand sanitizer is never going away.
Hand sanitizer never going away.
Humanity's changed forever. It's never going back to normal.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know
Yeah, coronavirus is here forever. All these protocols, everything, the vaccine will be forced on people. Will be a gentle force. You won't have to get the vaccine, but you won't be able to go in stores or airplanes. Your kids won't be able to go to school. It'll be like that, I think. Pretty much how China and South Korea are.
It'll be a gentle step towards dictatorship and authoritarianism.
How often do you dress up
the
as
First World Order? The First Order.
Yo, look at Mr. Feelings. Is this comment directed towards me? How often do you dress up as a black person to join Black Lives Matter just to be accepted? Is he asking you or me or the audience?
I don't know. I don't understand. Who wants more population controlled China?
Yeah, we don't. We just dress normal when we go there, but to be honest, we probably should dress black, like an all black block, like Antifa does. There's really not Black Lives Matter at the protests when we go. It's mostly Antifa, the ones we've been to. It seems like.
Yeah.
They call them Black Lives Matter. I don't think we've. To be honest, I don't think we've been to a Black Lives Matter protest. I'm not sure we have.
Yeah.
Because it's just Antifa. What do you think? Have we been to a Black Lives Matter protest, or is it?
You think that was Antifa? You think it was
it.
only Antifa?
I mean, nobody's wearing like African type clothes or colorful clothes. Nobody's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. They're all dressed in like black, like military type fatigues and stuff, and they all had shields and crap like that.
That guy.
I don't know.
I can't believe I didn't see him the first time.
Russia is becoming more of a friendly than foe.
Russia turned their back on CCP. You know, that's about that. I think they would take our side. That's what I'm saying about Russia, Putin, and Trump. I think they might have a good enough relationship.
I don't.
You think?
There's reports that China's trying to take over a tiny little like city in Russia and stuff.
Oh no, I saw that. Saw that they're trying to take control of like 7 countries at once.
China is trying to.
China is making moves. There's the India skirmish. We talked about that within the last couple of weeks. China versus India, big time territorial disputes.
Yeah, Russia's concerned about the Han Chinese sending their people to like Siberia and that part of Russia across the border. Their population.
It's similar to the Nazis wanting to send the Jews to Madagascar before, you know what happened there. So, prepare. As Phone with Nick Line says. The
California fires are disproportionately higher than they are in the rest of the Intermountain states. Well, the thing I don't get is if it's global warming, why wouldn't it be gradual? Why is it all just at once? I think it's probably mostly like lightning or whatever, like hitting brush or whatever. But then I think like a lot of people are spreading it like from one side of the highway to the other, or like just using the fire as a reason to start other fires as like a cover. So I think a large minority or small minority, whatever it is, are started by Antifa or anarchists. They're just idiots.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them are probably just started by climate change. I think it's so bad.
But you think it's mostly climate change?
I think so. I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything. This is just my guess. I think mostly climate change, but then it's way worse this year because there's because of the protests and the riots, people are using it as like an excuse to start more fires. So yeah, I think more of the fires are being started by arsonists than what the news is saying though. I'm not sure how many more.
Yeah.
But they arrested 8 people recently for starting them, so.
Yeah, so they have arrested some arsonists.
Joe Rogan had to delete his podcast video because he said that some of the fires were started by arsonists.
Oh, yeah,
Then day after he did that, 8 people were arrested for
And
starting
Spotify's employees
Are
want to
protesting.
censor Joe Rogan.
It's just the truth, though. I mean, that's how some of the fires are being started.
DJ Ronnie G is in the building. Vital was wearing a wire. Did you see that? I saw photos circulating in the video as well.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I was surprised how well he did.
How
I
well
mean, he didn't do
how
great.
well he didn't fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he didn't.
Part of my language.
He was good,
people.
but yeah, exactly.
You know?
I don't think Trump or Biden did good. Like, Trump should have destroyed him, I thought, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah.
They both didn't do good. Since they both didn't do good, I guess pretty much default Biden wins, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trump has to, in my opinion, Trump has to do something big to win the election. And I think he's down. I think he has to do something to increase his numbers if he's going to win. I think.
Aerosolized virus will occur in next 5 years.
Yeah, my screen, dude.
Are you sure? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Steve was right on time.
Here's my screen.
Let me just do that. The strain of this kind of virus is unpredictable and so puzzling. No one can cure it. At least the remedy is period.
Yeah, I mean it's never going to be cured. There's no cure for the regular flu. Vaccine's not a cure. Yeah, that corona is like a cold. There's no cure. It's like a really bad cold. There's never going to be a cure, not for hundreds of years.
What if this virus, and what if they CRISPR'd in like a bingo gene, what I call a bingo gene, or where you get a bingo, it's like a 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 chance that this thing mutates to be like World War Z type stuff, or Ebola deadly, or just it gets way exponentially deadlier in some way.
I think that's possible with any SARS virus, SARS, MERS, this new SARS virus.
Because that would be crazy if it was almost meant to do that, like in the long term.
Yeah, coronavirus can do that, I think.
Because right now I think it's attenuating. It's not as deadly as it was before.
I think it was really
it's just as contagious.
I think in Wuhan, in China, in Italy, and Spain, I think there was like more of a deadly strain in those parts. And there's a higher death rate. Yeah, I think it can mutate.
Guys, don't go to Walmart. Go to our store. We got masks for sale. And speaking of sanitizer, we got this. It's coming out very soon. Let me get that up in the store. Hand sanitizer. Look at that. The coloring looks, it's just different on each camera. Is that your product? Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we're going to have hand sanitizer on theshrimpsuit.com in a few days coming up. And some masks and other things.
NATO headquarters. And the highest concentration. Many people wait on long lines. We have a meter right there. What?
WHO recommends teaching children aged 0 to 4 to... I'm not going to read that. You change the comment.
I'm not going to read that. I think we all can read.
You almost got me. So, did you want to talk about the California fires a little bit more? They're spreading, and a lot of them are 0% contained. It's been pretty windy the last few days, so there's more fires spreading, and some new ones have started. And they're saying that the fires might not go out till the end of October, early November when the rain season starts there. So we have like possibly a month or more of fires still in the West Coast. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Did you see the falls? By the way, if you get to Cleveland.
No, we tried to go to the falls and then my phone died and I couldn't get there. But we're gonna go to the falls.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
We're
to
gonna
falls,
go to the
Cindy.
falls and get some halal food.
Do you still live in Buffalo,
Chinese.
Cindy? She said that's her hometown.
Oh yeah, Cindy, we're about to go out to your hometown.
I didn't wear
We're about to go out there.
Bluetooth hearing aids and your phone can call. Yeah, I believe that, dude. It won't be hard to make that.
Michael
like
McKinney says there's a big fire in Northern California going on. Definitely is.
These numbers do not add up. Star Rider. So I wanted to talk about. I can't even keep up with these comments, man. This is
You guys
crazy.
are commenting a lot.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Pick out the best comment.
I feel like you're perpetuating fear. I prefer a proactive stance. The fathers of the American Revolution didn't hide behind windows. They strategized. Molly Bennett.
Yeah, I definitely been accused of making fear porn videos. I mean, if you don't have some fear going on right now,
What would you suspect? What would you suggest, Molly?
So we
what
have.
do you think she means?
Well, I'm not spreading fear, but fear keeps you alive. Like when we're at the protest, if you're not fearful, then something's wrong with you. You should be watching your back when you're there, because someone could. If you're not watching your back, then someone could run up and hit you in the back of the head. So fear can keep you alive. Yeah, you should definitely be concerned right now. Like you should be stocking food up. You should have some type of weapon at your house. You should have extra supplies, maybe boards for your windows, or move out to the country if you have those means. Extra water, solar panels. Yeah, you keep gas in your car. Have a to-go bag if you live in California where the fires are. You should have some fear in you right now because this stuff is wild out there right now. Go to one of the protests or go to California and see the fires.
This is the Pandemic Podcast, The Great Awakening of Shrimps and Natty Ads.
Yeah, we're not spreading the fear. It's just out there. We're talking about
geopolitics, COVID, police, international political science, and
thank you,
analysis.
DJ Ronnie G. Let's see what DJ Ronnie G said.
Sharon thinks there's something much bigger coming.
Some wildfires occur due to poor forest management. Yeah, definitely, that's for sure. Despite receiving federal funds for that purpose, the ones near the highways are definitely by arson, and much the media has been covering for them. Yeah, I think so. I've seen some people arrested. We did it in a video and we reviewed it where a guy was arrested and he said he was looking for his camera, but he was right next to a highway fire, and they said that he started the fire, but they released him, and then as soon as they released him, he went into a corner store and robbed that store. So it was obviously he probably did start that fire. So yeah, I agree with what DJ Ronnie G said.
I saw this video of he's a forest ranger or a park ranger or something. He killed this white man. They just shot him.
Well, what did him being white have to do with it?
He killed this man who happened to be white. I don't know. I feel like it's weird, dude. They trick you into, it's I want people to realize that it happens to white people too,
Oh, the white people? Yeah,
it happens to white, getting killed by cops.
It just looks worse when it happens to black people, but the police are worse to black people than they are to white people is the problem. It definitely happens to white people, but it happens at a higher percentage to black people.
Yeah.
And it happens worse. There's not many white like Daniel Prude cases or white George Floyd cases. It does happen to white people, but it usually happens to black people, and it usually happens way worse to black people.
Yeah.
But it does happen. Like I covered a 13-year-old autistic white kid that got shot in the head by police because he was running away. So it does happen to white people. Probably happens to white people more than black people, to be honest, because there's more white people in America.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really
and
does.
It's not covered. The media doesn't cover that, so it just
not proportionally, but
so it blows it out of proportion every time a black person gets shot.
Yeah,
It makes it worse because they don't cover the white ones. Like I'm wondering how many times white people get shot by black cops or Chinese cops or Indian cops, but like. If you don't want there to be racism, then the liberal media really also can't be reporting on a white cop shoots a black guy because that's also helping the race problem get worse. If you have to mention the race in every shooting, maybe you shouldn't even mention the race anymore. How are you going to get over the racism with every time? But it's never mentioned when it's like black cop or Chinese cop shoots white guy or whatever, How many times has a Chinese cop shot like a Mexican guy or like weird stuff like that? How many times How many times an Italian cop shot like an Irish cop or a Puerto Rican cop shot like half Puerto Rican, half Irish person?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
We don't really keep track of anything but white cop.
The media has an agenda. But check on my brand new too.
It does, but it happens more often than it should to black people is the problem. And some of the times, like George Floyd, it looks pretty bad. So,
yeah.
I just don't think it should be the end of America is all.
Yeah.
I think we could just have police reform and not have to burn stuff. And I wish we didn't have protests anymore, I guess. We could just change without the protests.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Can't stop thinking about those guys who work for Charter Spectrum News.
At the protest.
They're just kind of pathetic, weren't they?
Yeah. The mainstream media is scared at the protests because they know what's really going on. People there were just trolling the mainstream media, calling them fake news and saying they sucked and swearing at them. And then the media is there covering them, making them look good, calling them demonstrators, peaceful demonstrators. And it's like the media is at the very end of the protest scared for their lives. And you can see the look of straight fear in their faces. And they do not want to be there. And it's the worst day of their lives. You can look at their faces and see this.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
But they're there making them look good, but the protesters the whole time are heckling them and basically threatening to kill them and calling them fake, saying every swear word at them with loud speakers, and they all have weapons and stuff, and they're probably it's just them too, no security.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spectrum News is every time you see them at the protest, they're terrified and they're way off covering it scared.
Yeah, they're derpy. But yeah, the fires though.
Yeah, fires are definitely spread by people and nature, in my opinion. Poor forest management, definitely, because they could be clearing down old and dead trees and stuff, which you should be doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's raking leaves or something stupid, but they should be disease management in the trees and ones that insects and beetles and stuff have killed. They could be replacing those, tearing them down, cleaning the forest up so the fires wouldn't be as bad.
Claire Bronfman from the Nexium cult sentenced to 30 months. Connected to the mega group. Expose on dudes during the Cali wine country fires.
So Addy adds, he said he's voting for Joe Biden now.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
I'm just joking. He didn't.
Did anybody actually change their mind? Did you get your mind changed?
No, I don't think anybody's going to really.
So you're gonna vote?
No.
You should vote, man. Should Shrimp Zoo vote? I think you should vote. What do you guys think?
I just don't think it's gonna matter. If if Biden wins, does Fauci stay? Does CDC and does the CDC director stay? And does who is it? Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General, does he stay? Do all of them stay?
Pretty much, yeah.
Jerome Adams is an idiot.
That dude's voice is.
He said
so
we shouldn't wear
annoying.
masks. Fauci. I don't think Fauci's an idiot. I just think he lied to us.
Jerome Adams just aggravates.
And maybe he's not an idiot either. Maybe he just lied to us.
Who's that? Fauci?
No, maybe just both of them aren't idiots. Maybe they just lied.
Probably. I think Jerome Adams is not very smart. He doesn't seem very smart to me. What do you think?
When he did like the YouTube T-shirt mask video, and he said he had.
He just doesn't seem intelligent.
He just said he said he had autoimmune and stuff, and like all these health problems. But he was also at the same time not recommending to wear a mask for like the flu. And like,
yeah,
that seems stupid. Like he's one of the only people that should be wearing the mask, and everybody knew that. He's like telling us not to. Mm-hmm. Then a few weeks later, he's on YouTube cutting up his T-shirts, telling us that we need to cut our T-shirts up immediately to make a mask.
Yeah, that dude. Like, oh my gosh, I remember covering that.
I just think that they're just lying to us based on
crazy times. I remember that. This whole year has been crazy.
Now it's been normal. It's a new normal.
It's the new.
Wait for next year.
Are they
this year's gonna look real normal compared to next year.
At UB Shrimp University.
We should go because I know they love me at UB, especially the my fellow Asian students there. I know they have a lot of love for me because there's quite a few Reddit like groups talking about me at UB.
Really?
Yeah. I was talking about coronavirus and, like, obviously UB students, they're all liberal, obviously. And
pretty much.
I was talking about
their university, right?
I was talking about COVID back in January, February, March, April, May. I was talking about it, and you can go on Reddit. You can type Shrimp Zoo Reddit or whatever, and go look up all the Reddit forums. Yeah, UB students, all the liberal Asian students. And guess what? I have Asian middle name, Asian last name. My grandparents are from Asia. I'm straight up Asian in this. All of these stupid Asian students were like, oh, we'll never be here. Shrimp Zoo's an idiot. He's fear-mongering and racist. And, like, I'm sitting here with a Chinese last name, you idiots. And they're just pulling the stupid race card and saying it would never be here. And the whole liberal position is completely changed because it is here now. So go check out that Reddit forum on me. You read it today, they look like idiots. Saying I was fear-mongering that COVID would never be here, 0% chance, and I was crazy. Look at it now. Who's right now, bitches? Yeah, but it's just funny. The whole thing has changed.
Yeah.
They should protest at UB because they're a bunch of idiots. UB made a whole page on their website dedicated to me, saying there's no COVID on campus, even though my ex was testing for it. Because UB has 1,500 students from Wuhan. Almost all the Asian students that go to UB are from Wuhan. This is on the UB website.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So these Redditors, were they Asian or are they?
Yeah, they're all Chinese and stuff like me, and they're saying that it would never be here, and I was fear-mongering that COVID wasn't serious and would never be here, and there was nobody was testing for it here, but they were. And Erie County, Gail Bernstein was deleting Tonawanda Facebook alerts saying they're picking up people in emergencies testing for COVID from UB and from Toronto, and they're making them delete it. They're issuing gag orders on the police and fire department so it wouldn't come out, not to cause panic. And these sheeple believed it all. And the Democrats like me, who believed back in January and February that we didn't need masks because all the Democrats were telling us this, and who said it was never here. And now everybody's saying it was here. Like, some people are saying it was here a year before we knew about it. Everyone is in agreement that it was here before March. everybody. Even everybody's saying at the latest it was here at like December or January now.
What do you think about
in
that?
America? Yeah, it was here before March. That's obvious.
Really?
Yeah, everybody agrees on that now. There's nobody who thinks the first case was actually March. They've tested.
When do you think it was?
They've tested dead corpses in San Francisco that were from.
They've also tested papayas, and that had it too.
So they've tested dead corpses that have had it. So it's probably been here for a lot longer, and there's certain strains of it that are not as deadly as other ones.
Do you know what a papaya is?
Yeah, it's a fruit. Yeah, COVID can travel on surfaces.
Even a cactus?
Yeah, any surface for a few days. If it's in the freezer, it can live for 2 years. If it's in the fridge, it could live for over a month. If it's not exposed to high, like a high light, high humidity, high temperature environment, it can survive for maybe days on the surface.
Where's the super chat tab? Says Deborah. My channel
Addie does not have super chat. Only Shrimp Suit has
got
super
demonetized.
chat. Yeah.
Only Shrimp Zoo has super chat. So if you guys want a super chat, go over to Shrimp Zoo's stream. Oh my goodness. Let's see what she says.
Oh, there she goes.
How do I do this? Oh, I have to go down here. A few shekels for coffee to keep you going. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't have super chat, so if you want to go to Shrimp Zoo's channel.
Kay says, do you sleep with the mask on? I just wear the mask because it's ridiculous to wear the mask in the videos. It's a meme. Obviously, I don't need to wear the mask in my own house in a video. That would be really stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't wear it just
Yeah.
like all the time. It's
I
used
wear it
for the
just to make fun
videos.
of myself.
What? So
I actually went out to a restaurant today, so
what restaurant did you go to?
that girl took me out to breakfast.
Oh, nice.
To that like Betty's diner thing, and I got oatmeal.
Cool.
She paid for it.
Tons of Jews soon say you be racism, the last refuge of the scoundrel.
You in my camera.
Oh no, I did it again.
One guy cried fear mongering. Another said he's all right. I don't think we're fear mongering.
Another guy on your
There's a
camera.
lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. We're just talking about it. I'm about to come out with some more documentary film type movies on my channel, though. I'm sure people will think those are fear mongering. Some of my video titles might be clickbaity, though.
You know about the Nexium cult?
No.
So I'm like into the sex crimes people. Like Shrimp's not into that really.
Yeah.
So I'm like into the Epstein stuff. And I don't know, I'm into serial killers too. I don't know if you know much about serial killers, Shrimp.
Maybe a few of them, not
Yeah.
all of them.
We should talk about serial killers at some point.
We'll do a serial killer video.
Talk about some serial killer history, biographies maybe. But the Nexium cult was a cult that branded women with irons, with hot iron, for this guy's name was Keith Rainier.
That's
Keith Rainier. And Allison Mack was one of the lieutenants, the female lieutenants or captains in the hierarchy of the Nexium cult. And she was a Smallville actor. She was on the show Smallville, if anybody remembers that show.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know about the whole thing. Yeah, I already know about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I know about it. It's weird.
Yeah, she was on the show Smallville.
Yeah.
And
She's like a C-list celebrity involved in a sex cult.
yeah, yep. And yeah, it was basically
I don't know, it's just It's weird.
It was a trafficking ring. It kind of similar to Epstein's, but more like cultish.
A lot less harmless. It was a small cult. They were not powerful. They were like C-list celebrities.
Well, I feel like they were trying to do the same thing almost. I don't know, but they weren't as good at it. It was more like cultish though.
All right, we should move on to the next topic. Get off of Smallville.
You're pushing fear from day one.
Let's do like 5 more minutes. We have time for one more topic.
Dude, we haven't even gotten started with one of my notes. Unfortunately, but should we take a break and then come back?
Sure. We'll do one more video tonight, I guess.
And we'll keep this stream going. We're gonna take a break after that. We're gonna go like 5 more minutes.
Well, end the stream.
Why don't we just keep the stream going? Wait, what?
Yeah, end the stream. Look. We're gonna end it.
We're ending it pretty soon here, people. I'm gonna look at these comments. Tons of Jewish students at UB. Racism in the last minute, always great professors. Still talking about UB over here.
We have a lot of UB students.
100 people going out and getting infected, like Nancy Skeletor, Pelosi.
Well, de Blasio said in February for people to go out.
Currently 17 people on oxygen.
That's a lot. For one hospital, that's a lot.
At the University of Buffalo Hospital.
Is that what you said?
I don't know. What university is that, Carol?
Western New York only has like 50, 60 people at most that are in the hospital, so it's probably not Buffalo.
Thank you again, Miss Deborah, for that. That was very self-fulfilling cool. Sanitizer. I have to pay my dues. Ooh.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I gotta work for her some more, I guess. She wants me to work hard for her. That's what I'm picking up from it, but we'll see what's gonna happen. America is on life support. America's on life support. Did they give Keith Rainier life in prison? Kay was just curious, Shrimpster.
What was she curious about? The mask?
Yeah.
Everybody is. That's the number one question or comment or insult.
So far, when he says dine-in option and order to go from inside Jack in the Box. Still only drive-through. Let it be known, people.
When he says dine-in option, ordering to go from inside Jack in the Box, so only drive-through.
Drive-through. Let it be known, people, in case you're going out tonight.
I mostly only do takeout. I don't really go in restaurants, but
Nice restaurant people. You don't want them stirring the soup with their.
Since COVID started, I've eaten 2 restaurants.
Just outdoor dining.
In the last month, I went out to 2 different restaurants. The one restaurant I went out to twice, though.
Pelosi has a bad case of Botox burnout.
Ooh, that's mean.
Or over oil.
Ooh, someone threw oil in Deborah's eyes. Yeah, if I'm at a protest, I'll wear a mask and goggles. But if I'm just walking down the street, I won't wear a mask or goggles. I'll only wear a mask if I'm inside of a store. But like I went out to eat this morning. I didn't wear the mask in the restaurant, obviously. But yeah, I just wear the mask in the video for overkill. Yeah, they threw the last protest we were at, though. They did throw water in our face. We weren't wearing masks. I'm assuming it's probably water they were drinking out of too.
The Vow? Do you know that show?
No.
They live too.
Oh, Clifton Park. Yeah, I live near Clifton Park. I used to go there all the time. Red Pill says time to get high. I would never condone getting high or using marijuana. I suggest you don't do that.
I recommend sobriety at all times.
You know, there's There's
What's
tests.
the vow? Cindy Kofi. Oh,
There's-
she also doesn't know what this show is.
There's tests out now saying that smoking weed like prevents COVID, but there's also a test saying that it can like damage your lungs and like make COVID worse, or be more susceptible to get it. So
Really?
nobody really knows how smoking or weed affects COVID. There are some studies that say it's beneficial, but there's also some that say it's not. All right, let's end this live stream and then we'll do another one tonight.
The show never.
Check back in like 15 minutes and we're going to do one more video for the day.
Turn up.
Like and subscribe and check out our Patreons for the billionaires that are watching this channel. And thanks for watching. We'll be back.
Stay frosty, folks.